Good morning. The first thing that you should notice is I've got a paper mask up here. I've been using that along with my respirator here when I'm getting into really heavy stuff. And my workshop has been cleaned of its winter clutter. Did some thinning of my bows over the years. You know, I accumulate stuff and it's like, oh, I'm going to work on this again, and I never do. So without mercy, I just had a big bonfire yesterday. Got rid of all the sawdust, which is not pressure treated, so it was not bad. I have a nice space here again. Time to work on projects. Of course, the big one is my main job, manager of a nature preserve here in beautiful northern Michigan. I'm very fortunate. Getting this place ready, we're opening April 15th. Opening April 15th. Working on a few other bow projects. You know, I have to adjust my time so I can get everything done. Spring cleaning of the house, enjoying the change of seasons. And so this is my my manifesto, I guess, or my declaration that I want to build a crossbow that can fire a projectile over 300 yards. It's going to be a brute. I can't do it with a short power stroke, so it's not going to be compact like this. It's actually going to be pretty big. Let's talk about the components one at a time. This is white ash, and it's a hardwood, so if this was, 4 feet long, there would be quite a bit of mass to it. So I'm going to go with white cedar. White cedar, you say? A good choice. It's light in weight. It's low density wood. But wait, it's soft, and so the wearing points will cause you problems. Haha. Wearing point number 1, the pin. I'm going to bore a bigger hole out, put a hardwood plug in it, and then drill my pin hole through that, so it's going to be riding in hardwood. Problem solved. Same with this. The table, the surface on which that string and the bolt slides, I have this beautiful piece of, I don't know what it is, but it's a nice piece of wood. Well figured, some kind of tropical hardwood, I'm sure. I'm going to thin it out. That's going to be the table that's attached to the top, glued to the top of the white ash tiller. The bow, it's got to be heavy. I'm guessing here. I believe that a bow between 120, 150 pounds, drawn to 36 inches, there and abouts, 35 inches, should be able to power something 300 yards. So this is going to be a big unit. I'm going to go with Osage Orange. I'm going to go with a recurved, this is walnut, this is a bow I made 25 years ago. Maybe I just said that. I'm going to go with a recurved or a deflexed reflex Osage prod / bow that's going to be sinew back just for safety, because it is going to be a heavy unit. Now, as far as a triggering mechanism, yes, I would like to have the technology to have a rolling nut and a tickler or a trigger, but if you felt how smooth the trigger action worked on that previous bow I made, it was over 100 pounds Osage bow, and I had a plate that the string slid up that was made out of deer antler. It was effortless to push that up there. It slid nicely. The deer antler, I might use cow horn. I don't know yet. They'll work the same way. Makes a nice slippery surface for that string to slide up. I didn't have any issues with the string jumping over the bolt. I did round the bolt so the string fit in that little cubby, but there were absolutely no issues with misfiring, nor an excessive amount of trigger pull to instigate the firing of that over 100-pound bow. The skein style lock bow, this mechanism, aside from not really having, I have to work out of safety, is a very nice system. It's a very smooth operating system, and I love the simplicity. So it definitely is, unless you want to go, beyond in your technology, this style of just having a ledge works nicely. What else do I need to talk about? I'm going to ask you the listeners, who have experience with heavy bows and flight shooting. I've flight shot a lot, but I didn't do any tests, with different mass arrows to see, how their effect, the effect of of arrow mass and distance. You know, flight arrows from flight bows are very light, and so light arrows can travel far. The arrows from English war bows were very heavy. They traveled far. Maybe there isn't a correlation between the absolute distance something can be fired, you know, that directly relates to the mass of the arrow. Lighter arrow, less effective gravity, so it's going to not be dragged down as much. Maybe they can actually fly to some extent. I don't know. I'd be curious to know if you know. But this is it, my declaration, my 300-yard crossbow. In any event, it should probably be, you know, a really good performing thing. With a power stroke well over 30 inches, a bow well over 100 pounds. I think good thoughts. Hopefully, using the white cedar, I can make it so it's controllable enough so it's not like a chore to actually fire, because I can picture a thing 4 feet long with a giant bow out there having some mass to it. I'll eat my Wheaties and take my vitamins, and so that is that. As far as other topics, I'm not going to touch upon the science of the spherical Earth. Learned my lesson, especially when I received that comment from that fellow that was a little on the French. You can see it on that video, by the way. Go to the Sun video that I did and read my comment on there. I cut and paste this because he was able to like put comments on that you couldn't read, and I could, and I saved one of them. I do intend to, the next clear morning, because it's been kind of hazy, I want to go out and I want to do the same thing with my telescope, but I want to video Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. If you've never seen Jupiter and Saturn through a telescope, you've missed something. They don't look real. You know, you look through it, and I know they're real because there's no funny things happening. My telescopes are 2 mirrors and an eyepiece. But they're surreal, and I want to give you that opportunity. I shall say, though, deviating from the topic of crossbows, that you can go Orion, good manufacturer of optics. You can get a telescope. I would get the 4.5-inch one, and not the smaller First Scope or Fun Scope, whatever it is. I'd get the 4.5-inch one. $99. You can get them for free shipping. They have Orion will give you eyepieces with three element optics, which are pretty good. You would be able to see Jupiter and Saturn. You'd be able to see Saturn's rings and Jupiter's bands with those, along with a lot of other nifty things. $99. You too can look at neat stuff in the night sky. As a disclaimer, why do I talk about astronomy when I'm basically a bow channel? We're interested in outdoors. We like to be outside. We like to shoot bows. And being outside at night, around the campfire, you know, drinking your coffee or your beer, nothing better than discussing the night sky and looking up at all that cool stuff. And with that, I'm going to get back to work. Have a great day. I appreciate your viewership and sticking through my ramblings. Think happy thoughts. We shall throw a bolt, a quarrel, an arrow 300 yards.